absolutely disgusting. I thought their colors were red and black and white.
Now they're red and black. Thank God that they're red and black. I joined this podcast, this overreaction podcast, championship overreaction podcast. A little worried, my friend. I'm coming to you a little bit concerned.
Why is that?
I don't know. I was at work the other day, right? And I work at this job where it's very Brave New World, very dystopian. I'm working down a line where the quality of my work affects the guy down the line next to me, right? So, like, if I
Uh-huh.
do a bad job, he's gonna be having a bad time too, right?
Yep.
So it's like 7 hours into a 12-hour overnight shift, and I'm tired, man. So I'm slowing down, and as a result, I'm kind of messing up a little bit, right? And it's affecting the guy down the line next to me, right? And he's kind of getting mad at me about it, right? So he comes up and he starts yelling at me in this like really thick Jamaican accent, and he basically tells me off and everything like that. Ends it with a "get your head in the game" type thing, right? And I couldn't do anything except for take it because I was messing up, you know. So I turned and I apologized to him. He turned his back. He's already working. And I'm like, "Don't worry, dude. My head's in the game right now." And he turns and he looks at me and like perfect cinematic evil eye. Like I've never seen a more perfect evil eye that wasn't like drawn. It was like one eye that was like a little bit bloodshot with dreadlocks over it and everything. The only thing that was missing was the lightning cracking in the background. So I think I might be cursed. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to report on that later.
Well, I mean, when we were originally going to record this episode, your power also did go out.
That's true. That's what I'm saying. I think I've been cursed. This is more
Which
physical
I
evidence.
truly don't understand why you didn't use your voodoo to prevent that, but I digress.
My voodoo was obviously being messed up by somebody else's voodoo. I'm telling you, man, this was a perfect cinematic evil eye. I couldn't have drawn it any better. I wish I could, honestly. But I digress. I hear some football happened recently. I don't know if you've heard. I don't know if you've been keeping up.
Patrick Mahomes back in the Super Bowl once again.
Yeah.
Kind of starting to turn into, oh, it's Tom Brady in the Super Bowl once again.
Yeah, it does kind of feel like we're playing a broken record, but
A little bit.
gotta
I
give
mean,
respect where respect is due. Like everybody said, yeah, they're not going to overcome like these wide receivers that they have. They're not going to overcome the defense, and
mm-hmm.
it's turned into a defensive game. And that's how the playoffs have been going for the Chiefs. It's been a defensive game that's gotten them out, you know.
And that's how the Chiefs have been. Like since Patrick Mahomes has gotten there, it's always like their defense in the regular season is good, not elite, and then all of a sudden they get to the playoffs and they go from good to elite on the defensive side of the ball. It just always seems like that's happened for the Chiefs the last like 6 years since Mahomes has been there. Their defense just, gets the job done and they're pretty good in the regular season. And then all of a sudden the playoff comes along and they're like all superhuman.
There's definitely a difference between regular season Chiefs and playoff Chiefs, and it hasn't really been more obvious than this year. You know what I'm saying? Can we bring up Kadarius Toney since we're bringing up dropping passes? Did you see on that he went on his Instagram and he was like, "Oh, this injury report is cap. I'm not hurt at all."
Well, then why weren't you out there playing?
Isn't the only other excuse that you're just bad and they're benching you? Yeah, maybe you could just go with the injury thing, man. I'm not saying that they're lying.
But
maybe he is injured. But if the only other excuse is you're not good enough to be out there, maybe just say you're injured.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Maybe you're hurt. I mean, considering like, 2 or 3 of the interceptions that Patrick Mahomes threw in the regular season bounced off of your hand.
Yeah, he's been trash all season. And this was like they're giving you an out, dude. Take it. Yeah. All right? We're not saying he's bad. He's hurt. No, he's bad.
No,
he's telling you himself he is. Basically, how Mahomes solved the wide receiver problem, just throw it to his tight end.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah,
much.
that's it.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
think he
that
finished with
and
11
Rasheed Rice.
targets, 11 receptions.
Was it that many? I don't know. I didn't actually look at the stats. I know
It seemed
I
like every time I looked up, Travis Kelce was catching that ball.
yeah, I did see the touchdown on the Chiefs' first drive in the first quarter.
It was ridiculous. It just seemed like every time I looked up, Travis Kelce was catching the ball, especially on the Chiefs offense.
Yeah.
And the Ravens just never got anything going. And like everybody's saying, oh, Ravens, Lamar Jackson, it was a choke job and everything. But then they also said that about Jalen Hurts. So is this Chiefs defense just legit, right? Like,
Well,
let's stop making
a lot
excuses, you
a
know?
lot of what I'm hearing too is also the fact that what the Ravens did so well in the regular season was run the football, especially Lamar Jackson, and they didn't really run the football at all in the game.
Do you think that it was all this legacy game talk that got into Lamar Jackson's head? Like he maybe wanted to put the game on his shoulders when they really should have been running the ball more often.
Well, see, that's not his call though. He's not calling the plays.
And then I think Lamar
I
Jackson
mean,
has a pretty big say in what's going on, especially
I
in
mean,
a RPO heavy offense like the Ravens run, right?
yeah, I guess, but at the same time, at some point, wouldn't you think the coaching staff would have told him to run the ball more?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it all
And
depends on who has more sway, John Harbaugh or Lamar.
and wouldn't you think John Harbaugh would have been like, "Yo, run the ball."
Clearly, this is not working. I like the pass to
Clearly, what we're
himself, though.
doing
That was pretty
isn't
sick.
working. Let's get back to what we did well in the regular season because that worked.
Yes, and I think the pass to himself was kind of just like an emulation of what
Oh,
we've
yeah.
really been saying. It's just him trying to put the entire team on his back when you have players, you have guys that are good.
Yeah.
Feed the ball, you know.
Yeah, because I
But
did see the thing. I think I saw the picture on Instagram. I guess it's basically a meme now. I think it was like in the first half or like after the first quarter, Lamar Jackson had more receiving yards than any other receiver on the team
that's a
because
bummer.
because of that one deflected pass that he caught.
He might have had more rushing yards too.
No, oh, he did end the game with the most rushing yards
Yeah.
by a lot.
So yeah, just another disappointing time for the Ravens. And they were the one
Yeah,
seed this time. Do you really think that does the Ravens defense get better?
I
Like,
I
do
don't
they have
know.
a shot? Is the window closed?
I mean, I don't think the defense can get any better. Their defense was one of the best in the league for the whole season, and realistically,
You hold
given
Mahomes to 17
the points
points,
in this
right?
game, you should have been able to win.
Absolutely. I think if you went into that game telling the defense you're only going to give up 17 points, they probably think that they won that game,
Yeah, exactly.
you know? I don't know. And then we went over to the NFC and we
And
saw the New Orleans, the New Lions come to an end,
yeah,
unfortunately.
it seems like part of you know why the Lions might not have won this game or at least given themselves a better shot was Dan Campbell, being his like overly aggressive, play caller self, which I mean is what it is. The city of Detroit seems to like it. It has, helped them at times. But at the same time, I think in the playoffs, when it comes to like, all right, yes, we're on the 2 yard line, but it is fourth down. I think once you get to the playoffs, that like over aggressiveness kind of has to be put in check. And that's when it's like, okay, let's just go for the field goal. Let's put 3 points on the board and move forward from there.
I kind of disagree with you only because, and I think that Detroit, I think you'd be right only in every scenario that's not Detroit. Everything that I'm hearing, everything that everybody says is that Dan Campbell represents Detroit. That is his city. That's his team. The city rallies behind that team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they really come to embody everything about the city and everything like that. So if that's what got him there, I'm not I'm not saying don't do what got you this far to begin with.
They had kicked a field goal and put the points on the board, maybe that gives them a better chance to win the game.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that it doesn't. And like I said, you live by being over aggressive, you die by it too. That if they weren't over aggressive in the game against not Detroit, Tampa Bay, if they weren't over aggressive in the game against Tampa Bay, then they wouldn't have gotten to this point here, you know? So this time it bit them. I get it. Should they
Yeah,
have gone for the field goal? Absolutely. It makes sense, but that's not how Detroit plays, you know?
yeah. I don't know. I also just think too, being over aggressive against the Tampa Bay team that wasn't supposed to be there either. All right, fine, but against the San Francisco 49ers, that to me is just. I mean, obviously, I'm not Dan Campbell. I think differently. Everybody thinks differently. But to me, like being over aggressive against a team like the San Francisco 49ers.
There's going to be talks with his bosses and his higher ups to be like, in these situations, you got to reel it in because that was the right thing to do was to reel it in. But I'm just saying that I'm a fan of Dan Campbelling his way out of this. If that's how he's got to go down, at least he went down doing what got him there.
Yeah. I
You
mean,
know?
also, I mean, obviously, despite the fact that they lost, Dan Campbell's not going anywhere.
Oh, of course not.
He's going to be there next year. So,
He's going to be there for a very long time.
oh, yeah, he'll be.
These Lions did things that the Lions have never, ever, ever done.
Yeah.
Not since the 50s. I expect Goff to be there for a long time too. I think that they're going to build around him. I think that defense is going to get better. I think that they're going to be right back in the next NFC Championship game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they'll have to add some pieces on defense. Maybe get like another wide receiver on offense, something like that. But yeah, other than that, yes, maybe people didn't expect them to be in the NFC Championship game, but I think most people realized that like the Lions had a good team and that they were going to be a good team.
Oh yeah, but I think that everybody thought playoff team. I thought maybe
Yeah.
maybe one win and then bow out and be the Lions that they usually always revert back to. This was a win, a
Oh
big
yeah.
time win for them.
Nonetheless, we have Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs against Brock Purdy and the 49ers, who I saw this one on Instagram. It was Shannon Sharp was talking about how he absolutely does not think that Brock Purdy has silenced any of his critics yet by making the Super Bowl, which honestly I think is complete and utter bullshit, if I'm being honest, because this is a guy last pick in the NFL draft, wasn't even supposed to be a starting quarterback, ended up being a starting quarterback because two other guys got hurt. Now in his second season in the league, takes his team to the Super Bowl. How is that not like surpassing any kind of expectations that he had?
You're a seventh round quarterback. You're not even supposed to make the playoffs,
You're
let
not even.
alone get as
You're
far as.
basically not even supposed to be playing in the league as a seventh round quarterback.
Yeah, you're lucky if you're a backup at that point and not on the practice squad. I think that
Yeah.
there's no doubt that Brock Purdy can definitely play ball and that he's not just a system quarterback. Now, he definitely performs better in San Francisco system for
Yeah.
sure.
But at the same time, like he still has to make the passes, which he does.
Mm,
He still has to make the plays, which for the most part he does.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes down to it, I kind of feel like he definitely stood like second half Brock Purdy is way different than first half Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
I don't understand where everybody thinks that this guy is like he's got no swag, no game or whatever. Like he steps up in the second half, he does what his team needs to do. Kind of reminds me of Eli Manning in that. Not the flashiest quarterback in the world, but he does what he needs to get done, especially
Yeah.
when it matters.
Yeah, you
You
can't
know?
deny that. I mean, he did win 2 Super Bowls, so
I don't understand the Brock Purdy hate. I really don't.
yeah, like obviously, I'm not the biggest, I'm not really a 49ers fan. They've beaten the crap out of the Cowboys. It is what it is. But you can't deny what the guy has done. They've talked about this on TV all the time about like, how accurate he's been on throws under pressure and throws in this situation and making deep throws down the field. In like every single category, he's like the number one quarterback in the NFL as far as like percentage of completing passes like under pressure and downfield and this and that.
Wasn't too long ago we were talking Brock Purdy MVP.
Yeah.
So I don't know
So
where that comes from with Shannon Sharp. I don't understand that at all. I love the guy. I think it's a great story.
yeah. Yeah, it is. And I like watching, clips of Shannon Sharp and stuff like that. I think he is very knowledgeable. Obviously, he used to, he's a Hall of Famer, but I don't think I can agree with him on that take that Brock Purdy still has something to prove. Like the dude just brought his team to the Super Bowl.
Hey, you got to go and win. You can't just
Yeah,
bring your
like
team to the
obviously
Super
you
Bowl.
want him
Nobody knows
to
the Super
win.
Bowl losers. You
Yeah,
know what
but
I'm saying?
at the same time, if he goes in, plays a good game, and they still end up losing,
But then you can argue, but
uh,
then there are going to be people that argue, well, he only won one. Well, what does that mean? You know, people like Nick Foles have won a
yeah,
Super Bowl. Mark Bulger has won a Super Bowl. You know what I'm saying? These aren't great
true,
quarterbacks.
true,
So there's always going to be haters with that. I think
yeah,
that going from the last pick in the draft to starter,
in the
that's
Super
that
Bowl, yeah,
alone.
that
That
alone, yeah.
alone is a Hollywood story. Now we're in the Super Bowl.
Now we're in the
Brock
Super
Purdy's
Bowl.
fine.
Forget it. Put it on the big screen. We're making box office money here.
Absolutely, man. That's what I'm saying. Brock Purdy's fine, and I think his legacy is
that
definitely secured.
that's gonna be a biopic in like 20 years, like Kurt Warner just got
I'd
recently.
watch it. I'd watch it. We
I,
would
I,
throw it
yeah,
in. I'd watch it again. What do you got on the Super Bowl? Oh, can we say Super Bowl? I
I
think we
don't.
have to like allude to the Super Bowl. Just say big game or whatever.
Is that it now? I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
that's what they say all over the place. Why is it like not a thing to say Super Bowl anymore, and you have to say like the big game?
The
Is
NFL
it
is
like
very litigious.
is it like copyright type thing? Like the NFL doesn't want people using their terminology?
We're picking this up as we go. We'll learn soon.
I don't know. All right, this is tough. I mean, I know the Chiefs just went up against the Ravens, who supposedly, had a very good defense, but showed up as very undisciplined. The Niners, I think, are a little different, but they also did just give up 31 points to the Lions. I
They're brand new Lions. Yeah,
yeah,
respect that.
true. I don't know. I think I would potentially have to go with the Chiefs just because of the experience of Patrick Mahomes over Brock Purdy.
How many would that be for Mahomes at this point?
Um, 3 or
Three?
4, 3 or 4.
You have to
Uh,
look that up.
yeah,
It's
I'd have to
crazy
look.
amount no matter what.
It's at least 3, maybe 4.
It's crazy no matter what. That would be
Yeah,
insane. I
yeah,
actually have it. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. I would go with the Chiefs literally just because of the experience of Mahomes. Not that I think Purdy couldn't win a Super Bowl in the future. I think he very well could. But just Andy Reid, the duo of Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, and just how much they've won in the past. I could potentially see them getting it done in some sort of like 24-21 game. Like I don't think it's going to be a blowout by any means. It's going to be a good game. Um, but I think Mahomes gets his what would be his third Super Bowl.
See, I
I
kind
think
of got the opposite. I disagree with you on a couple of things there. I think that this is kind of Brock Purdy's like one and only shot. I don't think that we're going to see Brock Purdy in the Super Bowl again.
that's
And I could be wrong on that. You know, maybe the 49ers defense and, you know, the pieces that they had building around them Kyle Shanahan, everything like that is that good. But yeah, I don't know. I think that this is a Nick Foles type thing. I think that, this might be his one and only shot, and I think that he's going to take it. I think that the 49ers defense is going to shut down Mahomes and figure out that Kelsey is the only thing that he can throw to pretty quickly. I think Shanahan's a little bit smarter than that. So I got, let's see, 49ers 23 and Chiefs 13.
Mm.
A low scoring game. So where else do you want to pivot to? You got hockey, you got basketball.
I don't know. We can do anything. I mean, I haven't been watching basketball recently because the Brooklyn Nets have decided to suck for the better part of the last 2 months.
It's best that the Brooklyn Nets mail in this season. It's build around what you got and get those high draft picks and just kind of figure it out. Just do a hard reset. It's tough. It's a hard pill to swallow, especially after the last year when you had all those superstars on your team. But it's over. It's over, and now it's time to reset.
Yeah, it is. But we'll see. I think they still do have time in this season to kind of turn stuff around. Obviously, I don't see them going anywhere if they did make the play-in, which I think is most likely their ceiling. Obviously, the two big names that you got last year with Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson are having down seasons. Especially Cam Johnson, he has just not looked the same as what he was at the end of last year, and especially in the playoffs. I don't really know where they go from here. Outside of, obviously, I like Bridges. I think he'll figure things out. Claxton has really gotten a lot better. I love Cam Thomas. The kid is an absolute just bucket. Other than that, I think those are really the three pieces. And if Cam Johnson can figure things out, I think that's your kind of core four right there that you try and build around. But as far as how they do that, I don't know.
It's gonna have to be through the draft for sure.
Yeah, most likely. I just think after the history of all the trades and the big splash signings, I think the Nets stay away from that.
Stay away from big splash signings from now on.
Yeah, at least for a little while, unless something absolutely incredible turns up, where it's a younger guy who's kind of a budding star that you don't.
I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even trust that anymore. How many times have you guys done the let's get an aging superstar here and see what happens? And it's always a disaster.
I'm saying younger guy.
Oh, a younger guy that maybe dedicates himself, but then you had Kyrie. Kyrie said he was going to retire there.
Yeah, well, that's Kyrie. We all knew that was going to happen.
Oh, well, I did definitely, but
we all knew
I would have a lot of Nets fans disagree with you on that.
As soon as the news broke about those signings, I said, all right, either this is going to work and they will win a championship within the next 3 to 4 years, or it is all going to turn into a giant dumpster fire. And I was right about the giant dumpster fire part.
And that's always what seems to happen with Brooklyn. Everything turns into a dumpster fire with you guys. I don't understand when it happens because other superstars form other big teams elsewhere and nothing goes wrong. I was watching the Lakers and the Warriors game, the one that went to double overtime. Did you catch that one?
No, I did not.
What an incredible game that was. Holy cow, man. That honestly was probably the spark that the Lakers needed because they have not been looking good since that fake play-in tournament win that they got.
We all knew LeBron was going to win that. That was probably the biggest scripted moment the NBA's ever seen. A new play-in tournament.
Kind of disgustingly scripted. I'm not going to lie.
Who's going to win this? Oh, LeBron James. Here you go. We all knew
And
that was
the
going to
fact that
happen.
they had to throw the Pacers under the bus so that we can get the MVP to be called the LeBron James Award, and we all knew that this
Unfortunately,
was going to happen. It's
yeah,
disgusting. It's
it,
gross.
it's gross. It's gross.
Yeah, soap opera esque. I
Yeah.
gotta
Oh
say, they
yeah.
dropped the ball on that
100%.
one.
Especially
Yeah,
when you saw how like when the Lakers won that the play-in tournament championship game, they were like 15-9, and they've been a below 500 team ever since that win.
they went on a long losing streak after, and they have not been a good team since. It's been
No,
pathetic. And Charles Barkley said that if they hung up a banner, that that he'd laugh at them. I hope he continues to, and I hope we all do.
I
It's
will
a fake
continue.
ass banner. Beyond that, I think that this is the spark that they need if they are honestly serious about competing this year, and it seems like they are. I can't imagine that LeBron wants to be part of any kind of rebuilding project at this age. You
No,
know, so
especially
if
considering
the goal is championship or bust, this was a great win.
especially considering whoever drafts his son, LeBron's jumping ship to go there.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think that he's gonna have the Lakers finagle it or somehow because
Probably.
his stock's
That.
been dropping like crazy. I don't know if you've been paying attention to
Oh
that, but
yeah,
he has not been having a good year in
no,
USC.
he's not having a good year at all, Bronny. No.
Yeah, so weird that his stock is dropping and his dad just so happens to be on a playoff team, which would have a playoff pick, which would be kind of low.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Mhm.
Nothing
Yeah.
weird about that. Don't read that into that too much.
Yeah, because I had heard something about just recently, like he started his first game and like scored like 2 points or something, and he went like 0 for 6 from the field or something like that. And I think maybe only or no, I don't maybe he didn't score at all. I don't think he scored like any points. He went from like 0 for 9 from the field. Like, yeah, he's not been good. The way I was thinking, like no matter what his draft stock was, like I feel like he could have been like it turned out to be like the what is it like the net like the college like player of the year or something like that. And I still feel like some teams would have been like, yeah, I don't know if we want to draft him because if we do, LeBron's going to force his way in and completely destroy anything that we have built or are trying to build.
Oh man, how bad of a problem must it be for the GOAT to come and play for my team and all that revenue
All
that
the
gains and everything like that?
yeah, the goat who's going to come in and tell
I
them to
think
trade
very
all of their
few
draft picks for guys that he wants,
I
just
think
so they
very
can
few
come in.
teams would turn that down, honestly. I could think
Yeah,
of a couple off the top of my head. Oklahoma City being one of them. I think that they're way too young to
yeah,
want any part in
no,
that, and it
they
seems to
wouldn't want
only
to
be
do it.
trending younger with the way
Yeah,
that they're going. So I don't think that any team that's young, Orlando Magic, Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't think they'd want any part of that. But any team other than that, I don't know, man. LeBron James is free ad revenue right there.
yeah, but again,
Just that
what
alone.
what are you getting him for? 1 year, and he's literally going to force you to trade like every single draft pick that you can, and like
Yeah,
all your young players. Like you're literally you're are you would any team really want to bring him in for 1, maybe 2 years
not any team serious on
just to
competing, no. But
tax
if the
like
job is
10
to
years
make
of your
money,
future?
yeah, and not any team that's serious on competing, no. But if the
No.
job is to make money, it's 1 year where it literally rains money 365 days.
Yeah,
So,
I guess.
how you enjoying being in first over there in the hockey world?
Uh I mean right now it's not good. I mean, yes,
I
they're
don't
still in
understand how you can be doom and gloom right now, sitting in first place in the Metropolitan
well,
Division.
yes, but have you seen the way they've been playing for like the
I,
last month? They've been awful. Like the Rangers over the last actually I think since the turn of the calendar year in January, they've been awful. Like
why
they've
do you
had a
think that
couple.
is?
Honestly, I don't really know. It's kind of hard to say, other than statistically, defensively, they don't give up a lot of shots, but they give up. I think they're currently third in all of the NHL I saw this the other night. I was watching the game for a little bit. It might have been the Vegas game. That the Rangers are giving up an average of 5.1 odd man rushes per game. So
Yeah,
although
nothing games like that.
they're not giving up a lot of shots, they're giving up a ton of high quality shots to go along with the fact that Shesterkin is having a very uncharacteristically bad year, and he just is really struggling with a lot. You know, and the fact that really they've been kind of almost, fighting their weaknesses this year, winning games because of the power play. Whereas on five on five, the Rangers' offense hasn't been good. The majority of the offense that the Rangers generate has been on the power play. And
Right.
I also think they haven't been getting as many power plays recently. They've been making a lot of these mistakes on defense, giving up a lot of these high quality chances. And, I don't know what they need other than I think they need their captain, Jacob Trouba, to, go into rage mode like he did last year and get into a fight, chuck his helmet at the bench, and just start screaming at them.
Your problem sounds so similar to our problems right now, man. Both of us have not been playing well. I would kill personally to be in the spot that you guys are in. We are on the outside looking in on the last wild card spot as of this production, I believe. I think we might be 2 points out. But yeah, I think that it's the same honest problem. It's we're not playing well on the penalty kill anymore. We're a very young team, so we're very fast, and that works towards our favor a lot, which is why we win a lot of games, win a lot of high scoring games. But because we're so young, I feel like we do a lot of stupid things. Like we leave pucks wide open in our zone all the time just for guys to pick up and go in on the 2-on-1. It's just we'd make a lot of bad, dumb, young mistakes. And I guess I'm fine with that because we are winning and we are progressing and everything like that. Everybody had us at the top of the power rankings in the beginning of the season, which I guess it might be a little bit premature, I think, at this point. We'll make the playoffs. I'm hoping for a deep run, but I think our year is next year. With injuries and everything like that, it's been killing us. Yeah. That and the Michael McLeod thing and Cal Foot and everything. And, I don't know if they did it or anything like that. I don't want to speculate on that. But if they did, they don't deserve to be wearing the red and black. Get them the hell out of here. That being said, Michael McLeod was playing at a really high pace. He was a really good center for us. He was winning on our face-off percentage at a rate, I think, that led the league when he left. So, I mean, like I said, if he did it, get him out of here. He does not deserve to play hockey. He does not deserve to be wearing the Devils jersey. But at the same time, to sit there and say that it's not going to hurt us to try and replace him, especially with all the injuries that we have, yeah, it's not looking great.
Yeah. And, especially too with, the Devils, like, Lord and Savior from the playoffs last year, Akir Schmid, he's, like, not even with the team anymore, isn't he? Is he? Didn't he get, like, loaned out to, like, a team in Russia or something like that?
I'm not sure if he's loaned out right now or what the status of him is on the team. I can tell you that we're doing a 2-goalie rotation right now, and it's Dawes and Vanacek. Akir Schmid's not playing. And I'm okay with that because the times that we saw him, he severely regressed. I don't think that I can remember a good Akira Schmid game this season. Ever since the playoffs, when he came back this year and the regular season started, it's been very ugly, very ugly. So wherever he is, I don't know exactly where he is. Maybe he's down in the AHL. Maybe we did loan him out to a Russian team.
I think last I had heard, I think they loaned him out somewhere. I don't know.
Well,
that was a little while ago, but
I hope he's getting the reps that he needs then because he needs to be way better than what he's been.
Yeah.
Goalie continues to remain a forever question mark ever since Martin Brodeur retired, man. Coach Schneider wasn't the answer. And honestly, nobody that we brought up since Corey Schneider has been the answer.
Yeah.
Nico Dawes looked like it was going to be him for a while. Then he got injured. And is he the same after he comes back from the injury? It's been kind of wishy-washy so far, the results. He's been looking great one game, and then he'll turn around and he'll put up, 4 or 5 goals. And it's not good.
Yeah, that's kind of the same that the Rangers have been seeing with Shesterkin. As of recently, he has some games here and there where he gives up 1 or 2 goals. He looks really good. He's making good saves. And then he has other games where he gives up, 5 or 6. Granted, some of those aren't necessarily his fault. It's a breakaway. It's a 2-on-1. I think it was the second goal that the Golden Knights scored in that game when I think the Rangers were on the power play or something like that. And Panarin just kind of like got handcuffed a little bit. The dude stepped up on him, took the puck, raced down, and the dude was a third line player who came down the ice and snapped off a shot looking like he was Alex Ovechkin, hitting like a pinpoint shot, top shelf corner. All right, yeah, nothing, Shesterkin really could have done about that. But at the same time, Rangers got to stop giving up those types of chances at the rate they are.
And where's the defense that even allowed it to get into that position? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think they might have been on a power play. All I remember is Panarin was at like the offensive blue line. The pass came to him. The dude like stepped up on him. Panarin got a little handcuff. Dude took the puck from him and he was gone.
Yeah.
So it was like it was a turnover, and the guy, I think Keandre Miller, I believe it was, did like everything he could to get back, but the dude just got the shot off before he could get there, and it was just, it was a bad pass. It was a turnover, and it led to a goal.
You're missing enforcers, and I think that we're missing enforcers too. That's another big part about being young and stupid, is also being young and just not very strong, not NHL strong, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We get pushed around way too much. We're getting injured clearly way too much. And there's nobody that really steps up. We got Ball that comes in to, start a fight every once in a while. But like the way that the NHL has been progressing is away from enforcers, but you're never going to get the enforcers out of the game. You need those guys to step up and defend your stars and not let your guys get pushed around.
Mm-hmm. And that's why I'm saying I think Jacob Trouba is going to have to step up again real soon, like he did.
At least you have a Jacob Trouba. We don't. We have Ball. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's not even good to be out there. He's there to be an enforcer and to start fights. He's a fucking liability everywhere else.
Yeah, but I don't know. Hopefully the Rangers can turn it around, or if anything else, we have the All-Star break coming up very soon. So hopefully the Rangers can take that time off. They have a whole week off for the All-Star break. So hopefully the Rangers can take that, have their guys like get back into practice and, start working on things and fixing things and watch a lot of film and see where things have been going wrong and correct all this stuff that they haven't been doing well, and can come back after the All-Star break and get back to where they were earlier in the season, where they were just smothering guys on defense, giving up I think they were averaging giving up 16 or 17 shots a game, almost none of them high quality shots, and just doing what they have to do on offense. Getting the puck in deep, using their speed, using their skill, drawing the penalties, and just I don't even know, just play better. I don't really know.
Play better for sure, definitely.
I don't really know how else to explain it, but just
we're hoping that the All-Star break helps us too, especially injury-wise. And the NHL is so big with injuries; it always pisses me off. It's either upper or lower body. And when are they coming back?
I don't know.
Probable, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, with the All-Star break and everything like that, I think with it being slow news, next pod during our episode, we should get some power rankings going. I think we should discuss those, break that out.
But yeah, just one last thing, NHL wise, because you mentioned injuries. The Rangers are really still currently going through that. Ryan Lindgren is out on long. I don't know if he's on long-term IR, but he got hurt again. He's been out, and obviously one of their, best young stars, Philip Hedl, hasn't played in like a month and a half because of a upper body injury, suspected concussion. And I had read just recently, a few days ago, as we're recording this, that he had gotten back on the ice, finally gotten back to practice after he had gone home. Like, he flew home, he went back to, I think I forget if he's Swedish, but like, he was home. He wasn't with the team. He was dealing with whatever it was going on with the injury, but he had finally come back. His first day back on the ice with a non-contact jersey, and he had to be helped off the ice, and it has now been reported that he will be out for the remainder of the season with said upper body injury.
That is a bummer.
Which, again, it's suspected that it is potentially a concussion, which would have had a setback, or he is now suffering the post-concussion syndrome.
Post-concussion syndrome, yeah, for sure. And that's a bummer.
Which is a real
goes out to him for speedy recovery, for sure.
Yeah, because, not for
nothing. Syndrome's nothing to mess around with.
Yeah, not for nothing. Like, Vincent Trocheck has stepped up and played on that second line with Panarin and Lafreniere, and they've been great. But Hedl is a kid, he's still like 24 years old. He's gotten better every single year. He's really starting to come into his own. And if this is something long term, it's starting, hopefully, next year he can come back and we hear good news. But as of right now, this Philip Hedl situation is giving me very bad flashbacks of what happened to Michael Sauer. For Rangers fans who remember him, was another very young.
I was going to say, elaborate.
He was, a very young, promising defenseman for the Rangers, like one of their top prospects. He was 24 years old, was playing great. And this was probably in like the mid 2000s, I think, somewhere around, I want to say like 2008 or something like that, in that area. But
okay.
He, 24-year-old kid, one of the top 4 defensemen for the Rangers, really promising career. Rangers were playing the Toronto Maple Leafs one night, and Michael Sauer gets absolutely obliterated.
Oh, no.
Dion Phaneuf, knocked out with a concussion.
The Phaneuf train, I remember him.
Oh, God. And it ended his career.
That's a bummer.
24 years old.
Phaneuf was
Dion Phaneuf ended his career with one hit due to a concussion.
Yeah, that sucks, man.
It's starting to give me some real bad flashbacks of that, and I really hope that it doesn't happen, because Hedl has been so promising ever since they drafted him and brought him up.
We're never going to see a Dion Phaneuf ever again, are we? We're never going to see a Scott Stevens ever again. We're never going to see a Zdeno Chara ever again.
No.
Because now they're getting hated on for how they play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of it, for good reason. I mean,
no, I'm not saying that I'm pro ending careers or anything like that, but just like a really hard hitting enforcer and everything that towed the line between trying to hurt somebody and trying to send a message. I don't think that we're ever going to see that again.
No.
And that's part of hockey, honestly. I think we're really missing that.
Yeah.
And teams that do ignore that, like ours, are suffering.
Yeah. Because honestly, as far as enforcers go, Trouba's one of the best in the league at, walking up to that line and not going over it. Like, other teams can't stand him, but here's the thing. Whenever he crushes somebody, his stick is on the ice, his elbows are down, his skates don't leave the ice, he hits you, he puts his shoulder into the guy's chest.
Scott Stevens was the king of that, man. He was the king of hitting clean, but just killing you.
It's a clean hit every single time. Like, other teams hate him, guys fight him all the time. I have not, been really seeing or hearing anything about that happening. And I think Truba needs to get back to that if he hasn't.
Bring somebody
tried
like
to
that
yet.
to the Devils too while you're at it, please. We could really use somebody like that.
Mama got something to tell